So, Kareem, before we do the big reveal of what we're talking about today, you were a Los Angeles native, born and
Yes.
raised in LA.
Yeah.
Before you got doing the demos documentary,
Yeah.
you got into hip hop at age 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that like at that point in time?
Man, I mean, it was everything. Hip hop has just been around me since I can remember, So growing up, in the 80s and the early 90s, you see these artists that they appear like superheroes to you. You know what I mean? This is pre-internet. So when you're looking at artists like LL Cool J and, Rakim and Run DMC, and you're like, man, I want to be a part of that some way. So eventually you're going to just try your hand at it, and I did that for several years, actually.
Yeah, you actually, with a partner of yours, created a record company called Hypnot, right?
Yes.
So
Hypnot came years later, right?
yeah,
When the blog thing was really heavy. My partner said, you know what, I got this idea to start the first online hip hop record label. And at the time I was managing artists and things like that. This is well after my, rap career, So he asked me to partner with him, and we started the first online hip hop label called Hypnot with my partner, Kevin Nottingham. So we did that it's still going on now, but I helped him launch the label. So that was a challenging moment for me, and I learned a lot in that business. So basically learning the business from a global scale, because now you're online. Now you're getting artists from all over the world wanting to be signed to your label or want to be heard or things like that. I said, you know what? It'll be a cool idea to create a movie about how to be successful in the business without necessarily having a major label behind you. So that's kind of how that film kind of came to be, because originally it was supposed to be a book. And I said, you know what? Let's take a step further and create a film behind it. We have all these relationships with all these artists. We can go to them and get their advice on how they've been able to achieve success. And that could be very valuable to an up-and-coming artist trying to get some acknowledgement or get some notability today. So that's what we did. I went out, I got a guy with a camera, and we just started shooting.
So that was the creation of Demos.
Yeah.
And that was in 2012?
Yeah, it started in 2000. Actually, it started in 2011, but it was a 3-year process, and it didn't come out to about 2014.
Okay. How many copies have you sold of that?
Quite a bit.
Been very successful, eh?
Yeah, it was very, very successful. We toured. I mean, we done this with no money. There was no budget. We just said, we got the passion for it. My partner, Kevin, at the time was a little skeptical. He was like, man, how are you going to shoot a movie? You have no experience shooting a movie. Like, man, all I need is a camera. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did. I made it happen. We toured. We did screenings in Africa. We did screenings in Chicago and Miami and New York and out here in LA. So we just did it all ourselves, man. It was a great experience.
So now you're taking this experience of yours, and let's get into what we're really here to talk about. You're going to create a new documentary back on the documentary film circuit about the LA cigar culture or California cigar culture.
Sure.
Before you tell me what you're going to do with that, when did you start smoking cigars? Real cigars.
I'm 44 now. I had my very first cigar when I was about 20 years old. My brother's friend just grabbed the stick and said, "Here, try this." And I'm like, nah, I don't think I want to try that. But he forced me to do it. And I said, okay, I'll try it. I remember it was a Oil de Monterey Excalibur.
Excellent cigar back in the day.
It was a great smoke, right?
It still is a good smoke.
But again, this is my first time smoking a stick, right? So I take a couple puffs on it, and I do exactly what everyone else does on their first time smoking a cigar. I inhaled. And that was not good. That was terrible. Jimmie, that was the worst thing ever. I felt like I was going to die, right? So it was just like, okay, but I'm going to try anything twice. So I tried it again, and I got the hang of it, and man, I've been smoking ever since, bro.
So now you obviously doing this documentary,
Yeah.
and you somewhere in between demos and this, there was this Beyond the Smoke
Right.
piece that you did on YouTube.
Yeah.
So that I imagine that helped get you into the material you need to do what you're doing now.
Sure. Yeah, me starting Beyond the Smoke was really, again, it was my brother. I have to give him credit again. I mean, I would sit there on my patio and smoke a cigar, every time, and he would be like, man, you know what would be cool? If you got a camera and you did like these cigar reviews and this and this and that. I'm like, oh man, no. This is something that I do. It's for me. This is what I enjoy. And that's just that. And he's like, man, I'm telling you, you have something there. Mind you, this is the age of Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and all this and that. And I, after the first film and that process was so daunting, I told myself that I wasn't going to do another film, or nothing like that with cameras. I'm fine with all that. But he kept pushing, and I thought that'd be cool to sit around and talk to somebody else who likes to smoke cigars, and it might work. So I ended up doing about 4 or 5 episodes, and I said, oh, this is pretty cool. I can smoke a cigar, which I'm going to do anyway. And while you're smoking a cigar, a lot of times it's really cool to have a great conversation, right? Because you're there for an hour to an hour and a half, depending on what you're smoking, and it's just being filmed. So I ended up doing that for a while, and the interviews did very well, and people started to, kind of grasp to the concept. And my videographer at the time had a conversation with me as Kareem, this show is great. And I know it's going to start picking up. We just got to stick to it. But I think there's something bigger here. And I'm looking at him with the side eye. I'm like, you better not be going where I think you're going to be going. Because he's aware of my past. And he says, I think we should do something bigger. These interviews are bigger than just the 15, 20 minutes. Because there's so much stuff, left on the cutting room floor. He said, this is bigger than that. Think bigger. And I'm like, well, we're just starting to get our footing with Beyond the Smoke. I don't want to switch things up. That's too much of a risk. People starting to recognize the name and that, this and that. And he says, why don't we do a film? Let's just do a documentary. You've got experience in this field. It's something that you enjoy. And long story short, I obviously agreed to it. And here we are, producing Smoke Big.
So the name of this documentary is called
Smoke Big.
Smoke Big.
Yeah.
Interesting play on Big Smoke. I like that.
Yeah.
But Smoke Big, it's all about the pretty much LA cigar culture.
Sure.
So give me some examples. So how far into this film are you?
I want to say I'm about 65% to 70% done shooting. And I changed the process. Anybody who's an independent filmmaker knows that there's certain things that you kind of have to do. I streamlined the process. I have a very small team. Me and a producer of mine, Maisha Michelle of Sisters of the Leaf, and my director, and I have a director of photography and myself. So we're the ones that's creating this film because I live in LA. There's, when you think of cigars, you think of Miami, you think of Cuba, you think of places like that, but nobody really associates cigars with Los Angeles. And let me tell you, there's a big cigar community here in LA.
Even
and
with
I
all
wanted
the
to shine light on it.
With all the taxation and all the crazy prices,
yeah,
it's still a thriving culture.
Oh, absolutely.
In LA.
Not only that it's just a big cigar culture here, but there's a lot of Black people who smoke cigars. And
Yes,
you know this from covering, Black Smoke Miami, that we are just under-recognized for whatever reason. But we're one of the biggest consumers of cigars. So I've been fortunate enough to be around these people who enjoy this culture, who are very active in this culture. And I said, okay, this is my lane here, to shine a light on this specifically. And it's going to be something special, Jimmie. I'm telling you.
So is this going? Maybe some spoiler alerts. We got some celebrities involved in this.
Of course, and I won't tell you who.
No. Okay. Can you tell me
But
sports?
there are a few celebrities. I
Can
mean,
you tell me
how would I
sports?
do
Is it sports or
a
movie?
all of it?
All of it.
All of it. I mean, it's
Girls or anything that we often see gratified in the hip hop media. In the work you're doing now in this cigar culture, does that quote apply?
absolutely, absolutely. The cigar is the common denominator for all these people. So I can interview someone like Cedric the Entertainer, who is a very successful comedian, and then
That's
I
what
can
this cigar
interview.
is, by the way.
There you go.
This is the the Rodney Hubbard entertaining, because he's good
Yes.
friends with Cedric.
There you go.
And this is the cigar he made for his name.
Okay. So I can sit down with someone like that, and then I can sit down with a politician, or I can sit down with anyone. But that cigar is that common denominator. They all have a passion for that cigar, but they also have individual stories of aspiration and how to achieve success, or really just how to get to that next level, whatever it is that you're trying to pursue. So to put that in a film in LA with all the different walks of life and different people that you might recognize, I think it's something that people will enjoy, because I want it to be entertaining at the end of the day.
Now this is multicultural.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Multi-race, cross races, cross culture. This is going to be everything in LA. Do you talk in this film at all about the issues of cigar smoking in the 21st century, FDA, any of that? Do you get into any of that with your politicians?
You know, we are going to touch on that. I don't get too heavy into that because I want to focus more on the lifestyle that people like to enjoy. Because if you think about, people who smoke cigars here in LA, a lot of it is about the look. People love looking cool. You know what I mean? They want to look cool. They want to hang around other people who look cool. So it's a lot of that. But yeah, we're definitely going to be touching on FDA. There's certain places that you just can't smoke at all, like Santa Monica. There's places like that. So we're going to be touching on that for sure.
All right. Well, that's important. So let's go back. Let's take it back a little now. Let's just get back into some more of Kareem. So you were born and raised in LA.
Yeah.
And I think if I remember correctly, you went to Santa Ana Valley High School.
Yeah.
Right? By the way, you're not affected by these fires, are you?
No, but they're everywhere.
But Santa Ana is a big area where those fires.
Yeah, Orange County, absolutely.
Yeah. So heart goes out to everybody that is watching, if they are from that. But you graduated high school and you were deep into this lifestyle by this point.
Yeah. I mean, that's just who I am. Demos was a reflection of who I am, and Smoke Big is also a reflection of who I am. So it's very much cigars. It's very much LA. It's very much hip hop. You know what I mean? It's very much geared towards a new generation of cigar smokers. Because if you think about it, the average cigar smoker is now around 23, 24, when it used to be around 35. So a lot of younger people are smoking cigars, but they don't know the history of cigars. They don't know a lot about it. So I kind of want to educate them, at the same time as well as being entertaining. Because I don't think we've seen that yet in the cigar business. Why, I don't know. But I'm proud to be the first person to bring it.
Yeah, it's important, and you make a very good point. The age and the age demographic is skewing a little more downward now. You're finding out a lot of the millennials. I would say a lot of the millennials that actually are getting into age now, where they've got jobs, they're stable, they're not living out of their parents' basement. The whole story of millennials who never get out of the parents' basement is bullshit to me, because my kids are millennials, they're in their 30s, but they're out of the. They've been long out of my house. My son smokes cigars. He's been smoking cigars since he was 18 because his dad smokes cigars. Yeah. And these young millennials are now coming into money. They got jobs. They got stable jobs. They have a little extra cash, and they celebrate with that. And they celebrate, like you said. You know, they like to go out, camaraderie amongst each other, sit back, smoke a cigar, have a few drinks, tell stories, and bringing them into it. What's important for them is to learn all about the cigar culture, and not just the people, but the history of this right here.
Yeah.
300 hands that touch it, the processes it goes through. You know, taking trips to places like Nicaragua and Honduras and the Dominican and Costa Rica to learn about all of this. I think these young ones would be tremendously advantaged if they go down and they experience that. And does your documentary bring any of the story of cigars and the history of cigars into it?
Yes, absolutely. It's funny you mentioned that, Jimmie, because me and my team will be traveling to Nicaragua in January, Esteli, actually.
Are you going to Pure Sabor?
We are, absolutely.
Good for you. Good event.
So I've just been in contact with them this past week, and they've been very receptive. So we're going out there in January.
So, have you ever been to an IPCPCR event?
I haven't. I just haven't had the opportunity to go. I've been so busy that I haven't been able to really pull away yet and to do those things. I've always been creating, so it hasn't allowed me the flexibility to do that, but it's definitely on my list of things to do for sure.
So what's the biggest event that you've been to from a cigar perspective?
Well, the biggest event that I've been to will probably be an event that Cigar and Spirits have put on. They put on annual events, so I've been to some of those. I haven't been to Big Smoke yet. That's on the list of things to do. But yeah, I think that'll be about it. I mean, I know, people who put on the Black Smoke Miami, they've invited me out to that. Again, I just haven't been able to make it. So it will happen. Especially with this film, I'll be moving around quite a bit.
Okay. So you never got to go to here, besides Black Smoke, there was also the Miami Megahertz that Louis Mahal and her husband put on twice so far this year. But they originally were in LA.
Yeah.
They did these Megahertz in California. You never went to any of those?
No. And recently I haven't. It's funny. I've been smoking cigars since I was 20, but getting into the culture is a different thing, right? So I would often go to a cigar lounge every now and then, grab some sticks, go head back home. Being in the culture is a different thing. You know what I mean? It's a totally different thing. So I've been in the actual culture, I would probably say 2 or 3 years, something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yum.
So I've met a lot of people in that culture, and I've made a lot of relationships fairly quickly.
So what's your favorite go-to lounge in LA?
What's that?
What's your favorite lounge in LA to go to?
I would have to say Second Street Cigar Lounge. That place was home since I walked in the doors. Greg and Larry and Joe, the owners over there, they're just great guys. And they've been welcoming to me every time I walk in there. So I consider that my home lounge. So, yeah, downtown LA, Second Street.
Second Street Cigar Lounge. So when I get back out to LA, my niece lives in Huntington Beach area. So
okay.
Next time I get out to LA to visit her, I'll have to remember Second Street. We'll have to trip on.
Yeah, you got to go to Second Street.
Check that
Hit me
out.
up. I'll take you myself.
There we go. I'll just ring you up today. Let's go.
Exactly. Easy.
Now, have you been outside of LA? How's Santa Monica's forget about it, right?
Get that.
Have you been up to like San Fran and any of those areas?
Yeah. San Francisco.
What's it like there?
To San Diego, and it's just a different it's a different feeling out here than it is. I've smoked in New York, and I've smoked in Miami, and I've smoked in, all over. But it's just something special about LA. So
Different vibe.
it's a totally different vibe. It's a totally different vibe. So I can't wait to go out the country and go to Nicaragua and really see how it's done.
You're gonna have fun in Nicaragua, and Esteli is a great place to go visit. You will, if you're going for the whole Pura Sabor, you're gonna do are you just going to Esteli, or are you gonna go to the other parts of it? Are you going to go to Granada?
I'm going to try. We're working on the itinerary right now. Okay. So we're actually going to be stationed in Nicaragua, Esteli. We're going to visit my new friend, Indiana Cortez.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. So I've been communicating with her, and we're going to be hooking up, and I'll be interviewing her out there and visiting Agros Tabacos out there. And I'll be going to Hoya. I'll be going to Padron. I'll be going to Drew Estate. So I'm going to be moving around quite a bit while I'm there.
Good for you. Good for you. You got to get in and see AJ.
Yeah.
Get connected with AJ because his facility is phenomenal. The Drew Estate facility is phenomenal.
I can't wait. I'm super excited.
You're going to have so much fun, and you're going to drink so much rum, you're not going to remember tomorrow.
Yeah. And there's a new brand out there. I have to shout out Art Garcia. Man, Antigua Esteli cigars. If you ever get a chance to grab one of those sticks, definitely try one. Okay. Antigua Esteli, very good.
I will have to check that out for sure. Absolutely. Met Indiana?
I met her we met via Instagram to her, and she's like, "Oh, I love what you're doing. I love to be a part of it." So it's interesting because this past week, again, I've connected with her, but I've also connected with Ventura Cigars. So I'll be speaking with Michael as well. So I'll be interviewing Michael as well.
Good. Because Michael's a great guy to interview and talk. He's very knowledgeable. So this film is getting ready to come out when? What's the expected?
2020, man. I'm probably gonna wrap up the film when we return from Nicaragua. I think I'll have enough to put out a good film. So we'll be kind of going through the editing process after that. So we're hoping for spring or summer. We're going to be pitching it for distribution around February. So I'm planning on having meetings with Netflix, Hulu, things like that, and seeing what's going to happen. So there's some buzz around it already, and so people do know about it. So I think I'm going to start taking some meetings after the holidays.
So you need to connect with, obviously, the PCA because it should be some pizzazz on that at the show in Vegas in July. Right?
For sure.
Especially if it's already out.
Yeah.
So this is a Netflix. So you think this is going to get on Netflix?
I've heard that people are aware of what I'm doing, and there could be some interest. I'll say that. I'll say that. But I'm hopeful. I've heard other things too, with the tobacco and the whole thing, that there's some issue there. But I don't know if that's changed or not. But there's, one thing about what's really fascinating today is that there's so many different platforms, to go to, that are really looking for content. And because I have something that's really kind of new and unique, I think I won't have a problem acquiring the distribution that I want.
So you had mentioned earlier about how Black Smoke and TK. So you two friends?
Yes, TK. It's funny. I met TK. How did I meet TK? I can't remember how I met TK, but I was in Miami on vacation, and I connected with him at Cuban Crafters. And he and I smoked and we talked, and we still talk to this day. I actually talked to him last week. He speaks highly of you, actually. I told him that I'll be sitting down with you, and he speaks very highly of you. So, good guy.
So if you launch like you did, 2020 sounds like a lot of road shows for you.
Oh yeah. I definitely I'm planning on touring with this film. So I want to tour around the country. I have some friends all over the country that smoke, and that may own lounges and stuff like that. So we'll do some pop-ups, pop-up screenings around the country. So I'm excited about that. Maybe you could help me with that too.
Well, if you're going to be anywhere near Central Florida or you want to talk about that, I obviously know many of the lounges here, and I'd be more than happy to get you in there. Maybe we could do a screening, and I could build some pizzazz around it for you to say, hey, come on in, check this out, and we'll have a good time, for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be something. So we definitely have to talk about that for sure. So right now, I'm just so focused on creating a great product that the culture could be proud of and something that they've never seen before. So I'm super excited.
If you were to talk to somebody who is, all right, I guess we got to go to 21 years old today, and they would first time ever picking up a cigar, you meet them in the shop, what's your advice to them?
Oh man, I would tell them, first of all, just the fundamental aspects of cigars. When you're going into a humidor, don't start sniffing the cigars and put it up to your nose type stuff. I see this stuff, Jimmie. I've seen it, So I would really talk to them about basic etiquette first. You know what I mean? Of course, starting with something light. And tell them to just really enjoy it. Take your time. Take your time. Don't go for, a Partagas 1845 Maduro. You may not want to do that first time out. Maybe if you want something real nice and smooth, go with a Monte Cristo. You can go with a white series. You can go with a number 2. Something real. Ease yourself into it. But take your time and just enjoy it.
And sit down, have conversation, leave politics out of it, leave religion out of it. And, and sports is okay. Just respect the other person's sports team.
Right.
Sometimes.
As long as you're a Lakers fan, I'll smoke with you.
Sorry about your Dodgers this year, but
it's all right.
But your Dodgers, my Red Sox, my friends Yankees, they all folded all the way down the line. Even the Astros couldn't destroy the Nationals this year.
Yeah.
Just welcome to wild card baseball, and the wild card won. So
there you go.
Power to them. So are you a big baseball fan?
Not necessarily, but ironically, my wife is from Boston.
Oh, well, good for her. That's it. So she a Red Sox fan?
Yes.
Okay. And a Patriots fan too?
Yes. Big time.
Well, you either love him or hate him at this point. Basketball fan? I
am. I'm named after one of the all-time greatest basketball players of all time. So by default, I was a Lakers fan. So absolutely.
So that's all. So you're pretty much basketball, and that's LA. LA is probably more a basketball town than anything.
I would say so. But there's a lot of Dodger fans. It's crazy.
Dodgers, but basketball. Your football team just kind of like came and goes, and it's weird.
Right.
Football in there it's kind of like baseball in Miami. It just doesn't fit.
Right.
The Marlins play in Miami. It's like nobody goes to the games. So when you smoke a cigar, what's your favorite? What are your favorite beverages to pair with a cigar?
Oh man, I'm a big whiskey guy. Yeah, I'm everything from a good, bullet bourbon, all the way to a Woodford Reserve, Monkey Shoulder. It don't matter.
So you're pretty much a bourbon guy.
Yeah.
When it comes to whiskey.
Yeah. It's funny, even if, you're not a big drinker, I learned that a good cigar would pair very well with a root beer. And I just learned this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cream soda also.
Cream soda. I've heard that too. I haven't tried that yet.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to have to try that.
Cream soda and a cigar are so good.
Wow. Okay.
And of course, a good espresso or a good Cuban coffee.
Yeah, for sure.
Always good.
For sure.
And if you really want to try something, you do tea, which is unique. If you never tried to pair a cigar with like a good black Earl tea, that's going to be uniquely different than anything else you've ever done. Because
really?
The tannins in the tea bring out flavors in a cigar. They kind of complement each other. So that is something that we tried. Does your wife smoke cigars?
No, she actually hates it.
She hates them?
She hates everything about it. So I got to smoke outside of the house. As soon as I come in, I jet to the restroom, I clean up and all that. She doesn't mind me smoking them. She just doesn't want to be around it.
Wow. Wow. How do you manage
So,
that?
if I'm ever going to smoke a cigar, I'm normally smoking with my producer, Maisha Michelle, Stitches Up the Leaf, who's a great, cigar aficionado herself. You know what I mean? So I like smoking with her.
Okay. Yeah, that's that could be a challenge in a relationship, because this is something that becomes part of us.
Right. I mean, she doesn't fight me on it. She knows I've been smoking cigars before I met her, and I'll probably always smoke cigars. It just kind of comes with the package,
And they have to appreciate that.
What part of Boston are you in?
I'm not. I'm actually in Florida.
Oh, you're in Florida. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So I'm actually in Melbourne, Florida, where it gets hot. So it's like, it was like when it's like in the summertime, it's like 95 and 95% humidity. And it just doesn't work to smoke a cigar. You cannot smoke a cigar in that type of humidity and heat. Just like you can't smoke a cigar when it's like 32 degrees and freezing. Okay? It just doesn't work. So I decided I better convert my garage into a lounge that has air conditioning coming into it. So it's 76 degrees in the lounge all the time. And it's comfortable. And it's a perfect smoking environment. So yeah, so we're having a good year. Sounds like you're having a phenomenal year.
Yes.
And, it's been great talking to you.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for your time, Jimmie.
Okay, no problem. You stay smoky. And don't forget to wash your clothes before you see your wife.
That's right. Thanks, man. Talk to you soon.
All right, brother. Thank you. So there we go. That was Kareem Fort. We'll stay on top of this from now through 2020 when it comes out. I'll be monitoring the story as we go on. These type of documentaries are good for the industry. It's good for us. It's fun to see something going on now. And as Kareem said, it's an interesting culture because the vibe is different. So it's going to be fun to see that vibe and see how he captures that on film. So that's it. That's the special today. I hope everybody enjoyed, those that watched it. This is Boston Jimmie out. Stogie Press. Peace.